going on? What's going on? This is A.L. Johnson with Elevating Men. Got a very special show for you tonight. We've got a brother that I highly respect on here, Dr. Ryan S. Harvey. He's going to be talking to us about the strongest man in the room, as well as how he can give us some tips, tools, and strategies to help our youth stay focused and on the right path so they can have a great life. How you doing, Dr. Harvey?
Hey, I'm amazing, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. And so, listen, we had this brother on our conference last
Yeah,
month. And when I
yeah,
tell you the message that he brought was so impactful, I mean,
yeah,
the men in the room, I got so many calls, inboxes, emails like, hey, we got to hear this brother again. And so definitely did his thing, man. It's a couple things that you have going on that I want to make sure people are aware of. First off, I want to say congratulations because I see right there on your title, it says Dr. Ryan
yes,
S.
sir.
Harvey.
Yes, sir.
The last time we had you on Elevated Men, the doctor wasn't on there,
Yes, sir.
but you're awfully proficient in what you do. And so can you tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about that?
Man, it was a blessing, man. And if I'm going to be super honest and vulnerable and transparent, um, early on, I want to say close to 7, 8 years ago, when I really started to do the work, I started in watching The Secret. And when I got introduced to The Secret, it talked about, speaking things over your life, wanting to change your life, and the law of attraction. And so I got bit by the bug. And after that, I start reading Napoleon Hill books, Think and Grow Rich, and the the millionaire mindset, and all these kind of different books. I was gung ho. I stopped listening to music, start making quotes and posts around my home, where I started having it on my screens, on my phone, on my laptop. Everything that I looked at, I was so immersed in changing the way that I thought and the way that I felt about myself, that it was one day that I said I wanted to do so much work on myself that I wanted someone to give me an honorary doctorate and my life to be my dissertation. And so I would always say that, and I spoke it over my life a few times, and it kind of left my mind. It's still focused on doing the work, and slowly after that started speaking places. And college one day hit me up and was like, "Yo, we've been watching what you do, the things that you talk about, what you represent, how you feel, how you make other people feel. We'd like to award you a doctorate for the work that you've done."
Wow.
And yeah, I'd never been to college before. I've never spent time in that type of environment before. But I knew that if I wanted to change my life, this was something that I put up there like, man, I really changed my life and I really did the work. And I think it was a book that said, yo, your dreams or the things that you desire have to be so big that they're crazy,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so the crazy thing in my mind was like, no, somebody gonna give me a doctorate for this.
There
Like,
you go.
no, no,
There you
no,
go.
somebody, no, if they
Right.
say life is the greatest teacher, then I'm about to start paying attention in class, right?
Yes.
When
Yes.
when when life start to throw me signs, I'm about to start paying attention and really starting to lock in to the Creator and the blessings that He sends us in the whisper, right? We be always looking for the loud thing. And
Mm.
usually that change comes in a whisper. The sign or the vision of things comes in a whisper, dog. And so I've just learned how to really, really, really pay attention to that.
Mm.
And so college was like, got on the phone with the directors and all that. They were like, yeah, we all in agreement that we want to award you a doctorate because I believe that this is going to open some doors that we feel a person like you needs to be in. And this doctorate is going to help you get into those rooms. And so, man, it was something that I never thought would be actually possible, but I was willing to actually like speak it over my life and then do the work to make it possible. Like we can
Listen.
speak some things over our life. We can
Yeah.
speak it, right?
That's right.
But we can't forget we have to do the work to actually make that thing possible.
And that's the hard part for a lot of people. They want to stay in that dream state. and nothing
Yep,
comes
because it
to
feel
it.
good. It give you
That's right.
dopamine,
That's
right?
it.
But when it's time to do the work, it's like, like now I'm vulnerable. Now I have to show that I don't know as much as I think I do.
That's
Right?
right.
How
That's right.
much my just living in a dream state says that I know what I want, but I still have to show that I'm willing to do what it takes to actually receive what I want.
Mm.
And so a lot of us will prefer to feel like, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym tomorrow. Now understand it, the next day when it's time to go to the gym, you can't be scared of the work, right? Because
Listen.
we know that this is nothing. We can we can lift this all day. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But we ain't really working. We ain't really making no strides
Right.
until our arms are starting to shake and we starting to think about giving up and we start to look for a spotter. We
Right.
starting to look for
Right.
a way to get out of this thing. That's when we really doing work. And now our mentality, we got to push that thing to actually understand, no, I'm stronger than what I think I am. I can do one more. I can do one more rep. I
Hmm.
can do one more set. And it's always us that puts the limits on ourselves, man. So I said, yo, I don't want to put no limit. And I want to get a doctorate, man. I don't care if I've gotten kicked out of school, have my past where I had my run-ins with the law and having to go to a military school, get my GED, all that. None of that stuff matters. And so if I don't look at the things that could be reasons why I can't be successful, if I don't look at those things and look at those as reasons why I can, hey, I'm a firm believer now that anything is possible. At first, I was like, yeah, anything ain't possible. No, there's
Right.
limits.
Yeah.
Nah, I've got kicked out of school and now I got a doctorate. Anything,
Man.
anything is possible.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you, bro.
Congratulations. To those of you who are just tuning in, I'm sitting here with Dr. Ryan S. Harvey. I'm telling you, this man is a gem worldwide. I'm not going to limit him to where we're at, worldwide, man. And so,
Thank you,
very
bro.
grateful to have him on. He was just talking to us about how he made his life a literal dissertation. He never
Yes.
went to college, but he has a doctorate degree. And so, you
Hmm.
literally can do anything that you set your mind to. There was something
Absolutely.
that you said there at the beginning. You said that there was a period of time that you went through this sharpening process where you started reading certain books, Think and Grow Rich and,
Hmm.
all these things as you started pouring into yourself. And I went through a similar phase in my life. And so I'm just kind of curious on your end, what triggered that? Because that's not something that we learn in school. It's not something that's put right in our face. You have to go and seek it. And
Yes,
so
sir.
what
Yes,
put you on
sir.
that path of seeking that type of knowledge?
Uh, honestly, man, I think. See, I got to give honor to God, man, because I don't even think I was amazing enough and smart enough to even know what to look for. You know what I'm saying? I think God put the right person in my path that said, you kind of say things and got the energy of somebody that should check out The Secret. I was like, The Secret? What
Mm.
you mean? They was like, no, just look it up. I don't want to tell you about it because I don't want to ruin it and mess it up because they explain it real good. But I think a person like you would really appreciate The Secret. And what I realized, man, is that God don't make no mistakes, man. The people that are supposed to get this information after they seek it out realize that they already kind of already knew about it
Yeah. Yes.
already.
Yeah.
Like there's
Right.
there's scenarios in their life where they've either used it or experienced it and didn't know what it was.
That's right. That's right.
You feel me?
I
And
feel you.
so when I actually like looked into it and I realized it, oh man, I went so extreme. I gave my concrete tools away. I was giving stuff away because I'm like, yo, if you want to shake up your life, you got to go big. So I'm
Yeah.
like walking away from stuff I've committed to my whole life and saying, yo, for if they say commit yourself for 6 months, I say, yo, I'm gonna put myself on a bid. Oh my God. Oh my God. I said, yo, instead of the decisions I'm making, the decisions I'm making are going to lead me to a bid. And everybody that have been in trouble know what that means. I'm leading myself to a bid instead of when I found out this information, I put myself on my own bid. And my bid was I'm gonna stay locked up until I come up.
I love
Till,
it. I love it. I love it. Now, listen, there was something else that you said. you were talking about the weightlifting analogy and how we want to push, and yeah, we can do a little something, but when times get hard, when it gets rough, when we need a little help, we need a spotter. That's when that true, value of your tenaciousness
Yes,
rises to the
sir.
surface. But it made me think the hardest part really is that next day when the soreness kicks in and your muscles hurt and you tight, right? It's like, do I really want to go back and do that all over
Hey,
again? Do I
yes,
want to go back
sir.
through that process? And
Yes,
so,
sir.
so I got to ask you, man. I got to ask you, the strongest man in the room. That's
Yes,
your
sir.
brand. And so,
Yes,
to
sir.
me, the strongest man in the room is the one that can come back after the soreness, after the pain, after the hurt. Not when the adrenaline's pumping, but
Yes.
when everything's been at rest and you got to come back. And so, talk to us about the strongest man in the room. What's that all about?
All right. The strongest man in the room is something me and my amazing mentor, from his leadership and tutelage. The strongest man in the room came from literally doing the work. I found myself on a stage before I became a doctor. I found my stage. Excuse me. I found myself on a stage with doctors, lawyers, other business owners, high level business owners, and I'm the only one there saying that I'm a motivational speaker with a brand. And I go and talk to my mentor, and he's like, and I talked to him about it. I'm thinking like, yo, why do they got me on this stage? And my mentor is like, because you're the strongest man in the room. Other people haven't been through the things that you've been through, to be able to face and keep coming back. Like you said, I've been dealing with soreness for years, and still actively with a smile going back to the gym, because I understand that soreness, if I continue, I'm building on top of it. Like I'm adding to it. It's not a deterrent. Like if I sit in pain, I'm not going to do nothing. And so the strongest man in the room is not about how much you can get hit or how much you can take, but it's how sharp mentally can you become to where even when life tries to swing at you, how can we use the momentum of the swing of life to literally manipulate it and turn it into something else? You know how, I don't know if you're a fan of martial arts or
Oh, yeah.
anything like that,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
All right, you got
definitely.
that master.
Yeah,
You got the
right,
you got the master dude, right? That will go in there, and you got the guy that's like, oh, I'm gonna kick his ass, bam, 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 right?
right,
And
right.
he can't touch him, and actually he uses the guy's momentum against him,
That's
where he
it.
never got to throw a punch or
Right.
nothing like that. But he uses the force of that and turns it into something else where the guy is on the floor, right? And so
Mhm.
for me, the strongest man in the room is the master of where I don't need to beat you up. I don't need to hit you. I don't need to hurt you. I can use what you give me and turn that into something. But I am a master of myself and my mind. And in that, there is no way that I can't be the strongest person in the room if I am committed to being the master. Even, man, I'm
Listen,
so
let's break that
serious
down,
about
bro.
this.
You got to break that down. You got to break that down because that's a hell of an analogy, man. When you think about it, so we're talking about somebody coming at you full force. Life is coming at you full force. One, to be a master in martial arts, you have to be able to remain calm in the storm. So you got this
Come on,
flurry of punches coming to you. You
come
got to be
on,
calm to
come
be
on,
able to focus on your timing and
come
move in the
on,
right direction
come
and
on.
understand how to pull that momentum in a way that it works against them and to your benefit. And so
Yes, sir.
when we bring that to real life, there's something I want you to touch on. I got an image that I pulled up just for you, man, because I know this is something you'll do great with. You do some work with Kyle Hollins at the Lyrics Institute. Can you talk
Yes,
about
sir.
that while I pull up the image, please?
So Kyle Hollins, Janice Williams is also someone that we work that I work with as well at the Lyrics Institute. But Kyle Hollins is the creator and founder of the Lyrics Institute. And a lot of people have asked me, Ryan, you got your own brand. Like, why don't you just do your own thing? Like, why would you partner with somebody else to help them? And I'm thinking to myself, God has put me in a position where, yes, I know I do my thing, but it's also important to humble yourself to know how to play a role within a team to actually help someone win. It's super important. We be focused on ourselves all the time,
Mm.
right? And so it's super important for me to want to bring my value to something else. I know I can do what I can do and be by myself, but it's different when you can believe in someone else and help them also become. We helping each other. And so what we do at the Lyrics Institute is cognitive dissonance, where we challenge people's thought process, and we show them with a number of different exercises the way that they think and how they should be thinking and what they could be with the tools and opportunities that's in front of them to get the game, man. So we do advocacy. We put them in situations where we learn or find out what they love to do, and we got partners all across the city. Where if it's music, we got Joe Black that takes some of our students on and teach them how to create music. If it's construction, we got construction businesses that's tied in, that we just give kids an opportunity to get access to what they love while learning the way that they should be treating and thinking about themselves.
Man, that's awesome. There's one thing that I wanted to point out that you said, collaboration versus competition. For people to come at you and say, why are you working with somebody else, really lets you know that we as a community have a poor mindset. Because in the
Absolutely.
other community, it's all about collaboration. That's why we don't have big major, corporations owned
Yes,
by
sir.
people that look like us, because everybody wants to go individual and have,
Everybody
this
wants to
is
be the man.
this is my small
Yes,
business.
sir. Yes,
My
sir.
small business. I'd rather have a small piece of a big pie than a whole pie to
Come
myself
on,
when
man.
it's this big. And so, your ability to look past that and say, collaboration is the key. And that's also showing that you have a heart for the community and the children that you're working with, because
Absolutely.
why limit what they have access to build them up for the next generation to be better when you're just thinking about yourself,
I-
in the light that's shining on you. It's about the kids. It ain't even about you. It's
It
not
ain't
about
even
me. It
about
ain't
you.
about Kyle.
It ain't even about Kyle, right?
That's
And
right.
so it's so interesting how we we are sometimey when it comes to when we pick and choose to care about other people. It's easy to care about other people if it's a camera or if it's my time, right? But it's a different thing to care about people even when you're going through something. You know what I'm saying? Or when you got a partner with somebody. It's so interesting. The moment, man, let me tell you this. The moment that I was willing to humble myself and collaborate, I got to experience things that I know I wouldn't have experienced the way that I got to experience it if I didn't collaborate. There
I,
was there are some
listen,
things that I've experienced from partnering with Kyle, right? That I know for a fact I would not have experienced or been able to be in the room for if I was too proud and thought, I'm the man, I don't need this, I don't have to do this. There are things that I get the opportunity to learn from Kyle that sharpens my ability to do what I do, right?
brother, I
From
saw
the
you
janitor to the
today.
business owner, I can learn.
I saw you on the billboard. I was riding down
Hey,
70. Saw you on
exactly.
the billboard, bro. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
I can't say I would have been thinking about a billboard. You feel me? And so I have to also give honor to Kyle because he's been able to open his doors for me and allow me to do what I do with all confidence. And he don't feel threatened by what I do. Actually, we be sharing the stage sometimes and bouncing things off of each other in front of kids. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
love it.
it's not a fear. It's not a, oh man, I want you to work for me. So I don't have to worry about you being competition or anything like, man, we beyond that. We trying to push the envelope to understand like, yo, we can do so much more together than separate. We ain't even got to do it like that. We can build each other up, sharpen each other's sword. And when God is ready for us to do the things that he actually intended for us, then, we'll separate and do the things that we're supposed to do. But in the meantime, in between time, let's help each other become better. That's the part. That's the part. How can I be of service?
That's it. That's it, man. Give without expectation.
Yes,
That's the
sir.
motto I live by. There's a couple people I want to shout out in the comment section. We don't want you to think that we're not paying attention to you. Robert G. Pop Hawkins, he said, if you want to make God smile, do for others who cannot do for themselves in secret and don't expect anything in return. That's
Yes,
what it's all
sir.
about. For those of you who are tuning in, we appreciate you. Give us a like, a heart, thumbs up, something to let us know that you're engaged. And this
Absolutely.
is a good message. Share it with your network, because if it's only a few people to get this good message, it can't really affect the masses as it
Absolutely.
should. Mike Junkie had a question. He said, "Is that the same as organizational leadership?" So you were talking about the cognitive dissonance and the behavior modification, etc. Can you just clarify that for him a little bit?
Yes, that's like organized leadership. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect, perfect. So there was an analogy that we were talking about. If you're just tuning in, he was talking about how life comes at you, just like a martial arts
Come
film.
on.
And so you
Come
got
on.
the guy that's,
I'm
he's
ready to break this
zealous. He's
down so
coming at
much,
you. He's
bro.
he's throwing everything. He's throwing everything, just like life. And the master, what he does is he remains calm. He sees the punch coming. He moves in the right direction. He shifts the momentum, and the attack that was made for him ends up working in his benefit. And so, with what you all do at Lyrics Institute, you're dealing with children who have been through everything. They've been
Hmm.
exposed to so many things. And so, I'm going to put an image up, and I want you to break down what you see.
Hmm. Uh, what I see is what our young adults know more about than themselves. The person they know, the thing that they know least about on that picture is the young man in the picture, and he represents themselves. Now, everything else on that list, because of social media, our environment, sometimes our family and friends, we get introduced far more quickly to those things than ever the power that actually resides within you. So a lot of kids a lot of young adults that we get introduced to know quite a bit, like deeply. They only know how to give you metaphors based on those distractions. They only know how to talk about things that are of those distractions. So sometimes for us, we have to sprinkle in the metaphor of the positiveness within the distraction,
Mm,
right?
mm.
We have to come from a place where we are able to use what you give your attention to, and then shift the way you look at what you're used to looking at. And
Yeah,
so if we can
break that
change the
down
way
some
you
more.
look
Yeah,
at that, then you're going to
right.
say, well, what am I supposed to be looking at? Now that I know that that ain't the thing that I'm supposed to look at, now that I know the truth, what am I supposed to look at? And that's when we can begin to change.
Wow, wow. Media is a powerful tool.
Yes, sir.
Media is so powerful. In fact, you had Hitler, that whole regime,
Mm-hmm.
and they commissioned a minister of propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
And his job was to pull together scientists so they could understand how our minds work, how they could get to our subconscious through the
Yes,
flicker of the
sir.
light, through the television.
Yes, sir.
That's where some of the research that came and said, hey, McDonald's, we're going to do red and yellow because it invokes hunger. And so
Yes,
they
sir.
understand our minds and our brains. They understand the megahertz, the
Yes, sir.
frequency levels of the music that hit
Yes,
our
sir.
spirit in a certain way and evoke certain emotions. And so
Yes, sir.
we're at attack. You know what I mean?
And
It's a war.
it's
It's a war.
interesting because those same people under that regime, if you do your knowledge, America literally made sure they could come over here, and so they could learn that same thing. And we don't even realize that they are actually doing that thing to us on a regular basis. Even us adults get emotionally pulled by what we see on social media if we on there too long, where if we don't know how to keep ourselves on a regimen where we don't get too deep, man, we can be on the rabbit hole at 12 o'clock and not get out of that thing till 3 in the morning.
And here's the crazy thing, man, the way the algorithms work, it's really of a reflection of your inner self. So I've
Come
heard
on.
people
Hey,
complain. I've
yo,
heard people complain and they're like, man, all this stuff on social media, they're giving you what you like.
what you
They know
like.
what you're looking at, how long you stand on there, what you click and open versus what you scroll past. It's a reflection of you. And so if
Yes,
you look down
sir.
your timeline and all you see is a bunch of mess, maybe you're full of
The
mess and there's
mess.
some cleaning up that you need to do. But
Yes,
then when it
sir.
comes to our young children, they don't have the filters. They don't understand that, hey, the glitz, the glamour, the party, the smoke, the drugs, the drink, the women, all of that is to their own detriment. And so when you all do behavior modification, I know you said that you teach them how to look at things in a different way and redirect their focus to the things that they should be focused on. What are
Correct.
some tools and strategies that you all use to do that?
Okay. There are some strategies that we use. We have something, one of our strategies we use is something called the box, where we break down how your family, your friends, and your community are your first introductions to trauma. All right, that is a fact. And after you are introduced to a particular trauma, how media and social media actually double down and make you believe in your trauma. And what that does is box you in to not being able to receive knowledge, wisdom, truth, and understanding. The only things that can actually release you from those things are just two simple things: accountability and vulnerability. In order for us to actually be able to help you, we have to have you be vulnerable and then accountable for what it is that you need to do. Very rarely do we have kids that are truly vulnerable about what they feel about what they've experienced. And so it's
That's true.
very hard to hold kids accountable
Right.
when we are not actually knowing what they are going through, right? And so when we get to a place where we're dealing with family, friends, and community as the first introductions to trauma, we're getting to the root of problems. We're getting to the actual, like, real reason why the behaviors are the way that they are. We deal with what kids value, what kids believe about what they value, and then how it motivates them based on what they believe about what they value, how it adds to their behaviors, right? So we break this down, we go through it. Our first introduction we have with these kids, we take them through something called the maze, and the maze is to help us understand who we're dealing with. And so the maze is something not too deep, but it gets a person showing who they are and how they deal with problems. So it gets us to actually learn what actually, in what area we can actually help them.
Love it. I love it. I appreciate that breakdown. Thank you all for the comments. I'm going to get to those here in just a second. But there was something that you said. You talked about how the parents don't understand certain things about themselves and the world around them. And so they really can't pass it on to the youth. And so I wanted to stay there for just a second. I believe that the things that we see in our neighborhoods, there's certain zip codes you go to, all the houses are run down. And a lot of times we'll automatically jump to, oh, well, it's the white man, or it's the politicians, or it's this, or it's that. We talk about the crime. Like, again, Kansas City is on record and on pace for the most murders ever. And this is just consecutive, year after year after year. I believe the things that we see outside of us are a reflection of what's going on inside of us. It's a mental
Absolutely.
health issue, right? And
Absolutely.
so it starts with one generation who doesn't address their trauma. Those things are excreted into the community. And so then you have a child, and what they see becomes internalized. And so the first generation sets the tone by, again, excreting the pain that's inside of them. Now the next generation, they grow up, all they're looking at is dilapidated buildings, broken, windshields, just a mess. Everything around them is a mess. And now they internalize it, and they have very little hope. I remember, like, going to Johnson County. You go on the right side of the state line, you see that it's a completely different world. Big houses, nice manicured yards, all of these things. Then you go back home, you go to your side of the tracks, and you're like, well, maybe I don't deserve what's on
Come
the other
on.
side of the tracks.
Come
You
on.
internalize all those things, and then that becomes the way that you act. That becomes the way that you live your life. And so, I love what you all do, as far as like getting to that root cause and
I
that
appreciate
baseline
that.
trauma while they're young, so that they can go ahead and learn how to deal with those issues to be better adults and
Yeah,
break the
hey, while
cycle.
you young, before you
Yeah,
got 10, 20 years of bad habits, and realizing after those 10, 20 years of bad habits, that those bad habits or those habits that you've learned don't actually lead to the life that you want. We trying to get you before you make that level of commitment, because it's so hard to get you after that. I don't want people to have to wait until they 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 to say, yo, I want my life to look different. Like, the longer you wait, the harder it is.
yeah. And see, here's the thing too. Kids are just trying to figure out how to get what they want out of life. Just like adult, they're just trying to figure out how to get what they want. And so we talk about that kid on the poor side of the tracks, and he's sitting there and he's like, "Man, I want the big house, I want the
Yes,
nice
sir.
cars, I want the pretty one, I want the chains, I want to,
Yes, sir.
I want to look good, I want to feel good."
Yes,
And
sir.
so when we go back to the propaganda machine, what do? They say, okay, instead of showing them the attorney or the doctor or the philanthropist or these types of people, who do they show them? They show them the rapper with all the girls and the weed and the liquor and this and so when they say, okay, that's how I get what I want. And so we wonder why we have so many children in our community modeling after, rappers, which I have nothing against it. They on my playlist right now. But I'm a grown man and I understand what I'm listening to and how to separate it. When they're young and impressionable, they're like, how do I get what I want? And so when they see the hardworking man who's going to General Motors or Ford every day, yeah, they respect it. Okay, maybe he got, but like Moneybag, yo, he's got it.
He getting it.
He getting it. And so, it's a tough cycle to break because again, the media and the propaganda machine, social media is working so hard against us in these young impressionable minds who are just trying to figure out how can I get what I want.
You
It's a
know what we
challenge. It's
do?
an uphill battle.
You know what we do? Because we tackle rap music a lot. Like the Lyrics Institute is culturally based. Everything we do is from the culture. You know what I mean? And so we dive in we dive into rap music. And so I can remember a session that I did where I asked the young men to tell me just tell me they one favorite song that they listen to. And after that list, I put up Public Enemy, Fight the Power, and I played the video. And after I played that video, I asked them, now tell me what you see. And if you didn't see it, if you wasn't paying attention, let me know. We'll start it over. But tell me what you see. Oh, I see a lot of black. And if you remember this video, and if you don't, I would love for you to go on YouTube and put in Public Enemy and put in Fight the Power. All right. So the whole video, they literally talking about the upliftment of black people. You see all black people together. All right. You see posters of black people that have done amazing things. You see pictures of Jackie Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. You see them on posters in crowds, right? And so immediately, I then play one of the songs from one of the young adults. And of course, it's Devil, Kill, Gun, Lean, Drugs, Shooting the Op, female twerking, all that, right? And so I said, so what do you guys think was the change? Right? I need you to understand, what do you think was a change? Because we seen something totally different. They was like, oh man, that's old school. No, no, no. They was talking about that in the old school. They ain't doing that now. I said, do you think that was purposeful, or do you think we just grew in that direction to say we ain't gonna do no positive no more? We just gonna talk about guns, sex, killing, murder, finessing, manipulation, everything like that. All right. I said, what if I told you there's an actual interview where somebody sat in the room with music execs where they actually said, we are going to change rap music because we see how powerful rap music is during the Public Enemy days when upliftment. We see how powerful that is. This could be an engine to actually make it where we cannot control the black man. So what we're
Hey, if
going
he's
to do.
speaking, I need if he's speaking, I need some hearts, some likes, some thumbs up or something because he's giving the game right now. Go
Yeah,
ahead. I'm
yeah, I'm
sorry.
giving the
I'm sorry.
game, right?
Yeah.
So they purposely changed what rap music was and they turned it into gangster music because they seen how impactful it was. Now, the important thing is that I also had kids think about this. I said, yo, do you realize that rap music is the only thing that young people can do? Like after you get a certain age in rap music, we don't want to hear from you. Why do you think that is? Oh, because it's a young dude's game. Who told you that? Because Lenny Kravitz, Bruce Springsteen, ACDC, if the guy from Queen didn't die, he'd probably still be making music. Man, they can make music till they 90 years old if they want to. Earth, Wind, and Fire, it don't matter how old they are. They can bring in some new dudes overnight. What is it about rap music to where if you after you hit a certain age, nobody really listens to your music no more? Tell me why you think that is. So the kids got a whole bunch of different answers. Oh, because he old, he ain't gonna. I said, well, let me tell you why. Because music, rap music specifically, they only want you to rap the most ignorant stuff you can rap, and then it is literally mastered, created, packaged to give to kids. They don't want anyone older rapping because that ignorant stuff could not be talked about anymore.
You're gonna mature out of that. You're gonna mature out of
You'll
it.
grow out of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, now, if you think I'm lying, ask me how old Drake is. And then ask me how come his music has not changed as long as he's been at the top. You've not seen his music grow with him at all. He's still creating music for y'all. And then the other people are still making music that is speaking damnation, killing. And we ain't talking about killing white folks. This music is talking about killing people that look like you. So everything is speaking damnation over your life, not being responsible, being disrespectful, not taking care of your kids. Everything is literally pointed at y'all to be a reflection of that. They don't. I'll tell them this, and then I'm done. I said,
no, go ahead.
We are Black people in America. We, no disrespect to Africans, no disrespect to nowhere else, but the African Americans, in America are the most influential on the planet. And so they need to make sure they control the way that we think, because if we were moving more like God, everybody would have to follow that. Everybody would have to follow that. But instead of that, they want the best men. Black men are at the top. But somehow they've created it to where we have to experience the less. And then the only people that look like they winning are the people that do the worst type of stuff. Our culture, they put the culture that we get ain't even our culture. This is the culture that was given to us. We were born into this culture. Our culture is actually from the country we left from. This culture has been created and given to us in a narrative that says we have to act this type of way or we ain't Black. You remember when you was a kid, if you didn't do certain things, oh, you wasn't Black.
That's right. That's right.
If you wasn't crashing out, you wasn't smoking, you wasn't hanging out, you ain't Black. And so that comes from the culture that was given to us, not the actual truth. They don't put the people that are great, that have done magnificent things. They purposely don't put those people in front of you because those people will create inspiration.
Bro, that's how we are. You know, when it's election season. It's election season. So why is it the rappers? Why don't they pull in the Clyde Andersons and the Boyce Watkins and the, you know what I'm saying, Umar Johnson? They don't pull them in.
Because they will call, oh my God, now we going somewhere. Because now they're going to hold people accountable and ask the thought-provoking questions and ask the questions that the people that actually think are really wanting to know. They're going to go deeper than just the surface stuff. So they'll get Quavo to say, yeah, Kamala Harris, yeah, she step on stuff. What?
Look, man, let me hit this comment section, man. Let me hit this comment section real quick. Mike Junk, what's going on, nephew? He said, I feel this is the same message, just not as abrasive. Okay, there was a comment before that. How do you feel about Charleston White? And so I think when he says that, he's talking about the delivery. He uses the culture. He acts like the culture. He talks like the culture, but he has a different message. And so how do you feel about wrapping that message into what's acceptable by the culture?
It's a fine line, for sure. I've watched a lot of Charleston White, just to see what he's about. But Charleston White is more than what we see. He's much more than what we see. And if you've done your research at all, he's done some amazing work. But he's been in a position where he's wanted to inspire Black folks to be more representing of what he feels Black is supposed to be. And because he wasn't listened to when he was wearing, I think he made a comment about this one time. He said Black people wasn't listening to him when I had a bow tie on, when I had a suit on, when I was trying to communicate and show you how educated I was. Y'all wasn't listening to me. But the moment I start speaking to y'all from the culture, saying ignorant stuff and then sprinkling in some game, that's how I got y'all attention. And so what he's doing is using our trolling as an opportunity to get your attention, to sprinkle you with some game. Is it extreme or abrasive? Absolutely. Would I do it? Probably not. Is it possibilities of it working? Yes. Because there's so many different people that need a different type of assistance. I might be a great speaker, but I might not hit for everybody. Everybody might not take in what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So it takes another person that can say it a little bit more abrasive, that gets those hardened peoples to listen to it a little bit differently. But a lot of
part
things,
of it is entertainment.
yes,
we gotta be entertained.
man.
You know what I'm saying?
We as Black people, we love to be entertained.
Man.
We don't want no game. We don't want no knowledge. We be thinking that's boring, but we love to be entertained. We'll go some of the worst places because of entertainment, right?
That's
but
right.
We won't go some of the best places because we don't know what to expect from having to face ourselves. So what he did was say, if I know y'all need to be entertained a little bit, I'm going to entertain you, make you laugh, think I'm crazy, but I'm going to sprinkle you with some game.
Yeah, it's wild, man, because I've seen videos that you posted, bro, that have literally shifted my perspective in certain areas. And then I look at the views, man, and I'm just like, why in the world
I don't be getting
are there
it, bro.
not more people paying attention to this? But then it's kind of crazy because, of course, it's social media. So you scroll, you move to the next. Man, I literally, man, one night I saw a dude, man, he was just hollering, jumping around, you know, smoking a blunt on camera. Whatever. Man, it was like 4,000 people watching it. And I'm like, why? Why?
Hey, man, I seen a dude one time. He was in the grocery store. He went and got some milk and poured it all over himself in the middle of the grocery store. Like, you got to believe in yourself. You got to do everything you can.
I know exactly
you can't let nothing get to you.
I know exactly
man, I went to the views. Man, I'm talking thousands. I said, yo, I don't ever, bro, I've already come to terms with, I got to take the stairs. That stuff is the elevator, bro. It really is. It really, really is. Doing that, getting in front of people. I want people to see me for me. Period. I don't want to have to be something I don't want to be in order to get your attention. So if that means I got to take the stairs to do that, I'm cool with that, because I know truth rises to the top. I'm gonna let you do your thing. You hurry up and get up there because of the elevator, but I'd rather be able to know that every step I took to get up there, I know my soul, my legs, my body, and my mind are fully equipped to be able to handle whatever comes from being at the top, because I took the stairs. If I take the elevator, I don't know what that looks like.
You ain't built no strength.
You ain't building no strength, bro.
I was on the Stairmaster yesterday. Hey, them stairs, hey, they get you, you know what I'm saying? That elevator, bro, you ain't building nothing.
You ain't building nothing, bro.
Yeah, bro, I love it. Got a couple other comments here. Robert Hawkins, he said, it's truly amazing the witchcraft that is hidden behind rhythms, vibrations, and words. People are honestly being manipulated and think it's just entertainment. No, it is not just entertainment. You feed enough sugar flavored poison, you won't recognize the danger until it's too late, till your life has become what you consume. Hold on, man. You about to make me go to one of my favorite analogies real quick. So look, check this out, man. Here it is right here. This right here, man. This is one of my favorite analogies that, I've used this for my children, for my own children. So what you got is a jar with apple cider vinegar. It's got honey. It's got some dish soap. What it does is it attracts gnats. That's what it does. And so just so you know, if you end up having some gnats in your house, that's how you can get rid of them, okay? Now, what I did with my children is I had them stand by it. And I said, look at this. They said, what? Okay, I get it. Yeah, they killed the gnats. Great. No, I said, Think about these gnats, the individual gnats. How is it that they saw one in there dead, two in there dead, three in there dead, five in there, and then they still jumped in there? And then the next one, there was 20 of them in there already dead, and
Come
they jumped
on.
in there too. Why are we jumping right behind each other to our own demise? And so my thought was, when we look at our community, when we look at the streets, we say, wait a minute, how many men do we know that are in jail for certain reasons? How many families do we see that are broken for certain reasons? Why do we keep following the same path? It's because the concoction that they make is so sweet and
It's so
irresistible,
enticing that
so
I can't.
enticing that I will jump to my own death for it.
Hey, yo, you know how real that is? I When I fully made the commitment to change my life, I had to stop listening to music for like 6 or 7 months. I could not. I had to totally listen to nothing but podcasts. Anytime I got into the car, anytime I went on a walk, anytime I went to the gym. I'm talking anytime I had some time where I usually would play music. I literally had to go and shift my mindset by taking in an audio book, a sermon, a talk, or something like that. It continuously had to be that, where I had to separate myself to where it began to put me in a position where I set the president instead of the music setting the president for me.
Listen, if you're not following this brother, you should be. Dr. Ryan S. Harvey, look him up. The strongest man in the room. Let me get back to some of these comments. We appreciate each and every one of you that are commenting.
Absolutely.
We appreciate the shares, the likes, all of that, because these are the messages that we need to be talking about. This is the conversation right here. And so we appreciate all of you. Let's see, we got oh man, it's a whole bunch that came in. Let me catch us up. Let me catch us up. Let's see. Robert Hawkins, that is such a fantastic thing because a child, trust me, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Absolutely.
we believe that at the Lyrics Institute, we believe that we build relationship before we give game.
There you
we
go.
we build relationship. We need to show you just how much we care. So even if that means we got to show up to a court date, we gotta make sure you getting some money. We putting you in a position where you getting to get access to your dream by getting introduced to somebody that really does it before we even get you into the place of being able to take information from us. We trying
Yeah.
to build a relationship with you.
Love it. Love it. Mike Junk, do you have any readings available about the maze? You talked about that early on. Is there anything that people have access to, or how can you?
Uh, that's more of a Kyle thing, because I think you have to actually be in the Lyrics Institute. Go to lyricsinstitute.com. They got a section called mentorship. If you have someone, young adults or anything like that, that you think would be beneficial to this type of knowledge, they can get introduced to the maze. Yeah, it's kind of like something we do in house, and I think that it would mess with its intellectual property to just give it out.
Got it. Got it. Re-embodied mind of mind. This brother, he was on the panel Monday. Man, listen, this dude is deep. Hey, matter of fact, I need to call you afterwards, man, because we need you back on again, man. But he said, issue is the older people start competing with the children. Man, listen.
Hey,
Older
man.
people start competing with the children when there's no difference from the 22 to 45-year-old woman. What's left? He also said, bro, that's a whole
That's
show
a
right there.
whole.
That's a whole show. That's a
Hey,
whole
that's
show.
deep. That's deep.
Yeah. Rap pushes black men to feel excluded and expendable.
Absolute.
100%.
Absolute.
Alana Sykes, thanks for tuning in. Black card revoked. 100. 100.
Please tell me more of what that means.
Yeah, yeah. Leave that in the comments. I think she's talking about the people that are making that music and just kind of
Oh,
pumping that
okay,
message.
okay,
Yeah, just
okay. All
pumping that
right.
message. Right. Let's see. He went that way because that's the only way we would listen. I believe he was talking
Charleston
about
White.
Charleston White.
Yep.
Oh man, let me see. Yeah, he actually had a whole video about why he went that way with his message.
Correct.
Let's see. Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
said when I was saying when he had on the bow tie, and speaking eloquently, speaking like with manners, speaking
Right.
like he knows how to use words in the correct manner. We wasn't listening to him when he was doing that, and so then when he started getting ignorant and then sprinkling a little less of the game in there, that's when he got people's attention. And now you see he everywhere. He doing stuff everywhere. He on everything. It's crazy when you think about it.
Man, if we roll one up right now, I bet you the viewership.
Hey, people be like, oh, I didn't know they was that cool. Oh, shoot. No, this is my type of vibe. Hold on. Let me match them. Hold on. I didn't know we was doing that. Okay,
right. Hey, see, and then here go the thing, too. We're the one that's perpetuating it because, again, like we talked about the algorithm, it's us who's clicking on it. It's us who's watching it. We did a show a couple weeks ago. It was talking about like the whole sex culture thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so we have our young women, which I know some of them are in the Lyrics Institute program. And so you've been able to speak with them directly. And as a father, I'm like, man, I'm concerned because you can see that if a lady got a little body, she look all right, you know, she's pretty, she carries herself well. All she got to do is show a little something. She can open an OnlyFans and be a millionaire just like that.
Prostitute culture is real.
It's wild. But then let's think about it. So this is Elevated Men. So we talk about accountability. And like you said with your program, accountability is where it starts. Who is giving them the money and the views? You know what I'm saying? And so really it's weak men who have no self-control who are creating the issues that they complain about. You know what I'm saying?
I tell women that all the time. If there was more real men out here, a lot of the stuff that goes on would not be able to happen because we wouldn't entertain it. Absolutely. The only reason why it happens is because there's a man somewhere, enough men somewhere that entertain it. So we have to be accountable to the fact that a lot of the reason why the stuff goes on the way that it does is because we don't show up and be the people that we supposed to be. If more men walked in protection, I think a lot more women would walk in grace. And if a lot more women walked in grace, a lot more men would walk in protection.
Listen, one of our taglines with Elevated Men, strong men build strong families build strong communities, and it's exactly in that order. So it starts with the man. If we don't rebuild the man, we're in trouble.
That's where it all is. And you know, and they purposely made it where the person that does not get the help is the man. They purposely.
Listen, bro, we'll be on here all night, man. You got to stop saying this stuff, bro, because, I mean, real talk. There was a conversation I was having with somebody. I said, you know, if you think about it, in the nonprofit sector, every nonprofit is centered around a broken man. You have battered women's shelters. Who battered them? A broken man. You have all these mentorship programs. Why? Because there's not a man in the home.
Come
on. These food ministries, there's a broken man somewhere who's not providing. And so if we rebuild the man, it dismantles the system.
It eliminates all that.
And that's why they don't create it. That's why you, as a man, you'll be hard pressed to get any type of assistance.
If at all.
If at all. Because if we rebuild the man, we rebuild the whole community. And so that's what things like Elevating Men, the Strongest Men in the Room, Lyrics Institution, all these different organizations, we understand that and we're trying our best. But again, like you said, the culture works against us because it says, hey, this ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? This ain't gonna get you nowhere.
The culture is working against us, brother.
It's working against us, man. So listen, I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. You guys have been engaging. We appreciate all the comments, the likes, the shares. But if it stops here, then we really haven't done anything. And so, Dr. Harvey, can you share with them how to get in touch with you and connect with your programs?
Yes. The Lyrics Institute, first and foremost, I want to lift others up before I lift myself up. Kyle Hollins is doing amazing work. Lyricsinstitute.com. If you go to the intervention section, there's mentorship, summer in the city and stuff like that. I build stuff like that. Go there, sign your kids up, sign yourself up. We deal with individuals from 13 to 25. So if you are in that lane or got kids, nephews, friends that are in that lane, please have them sign up. But for me personally, you can look me up, The Strongest Man in the Room. My website is almost done, so you'll be able to reach out to me that way. Ryan S. Harvey on Facebook, Strongest Man in the Room on Instagram. If there's some mentorship that you would desire, please reach out to me. I do offer mentor services as well. And let's do some work.
I love it, man. Listen, bro, I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you,
You
bro.
gave a whole lot of game. And so, for those of you who are still watching, make sure that you share this with somebody. Sit down and watch it with
Please,
your kids. That would
please,
probably be the best thing that you can do with this. Take an hour of your
please.
time instead of watching some sitcom or sitting in the other room, letting them
Come
take care
on,
of themselves, letting the
come
video
on.
game parent them. Sit down and have them watch this because
And
we
then
talk
have a
about it
conversation
and
afterwards.
then have a conversation and then have a conversation. And so, definitely, any last words or final thoughts, sir?
Man, I'm always gonna push. I'm always gonna be dedicated, man. And so I just really love people, man. And I just want people to be their best while being an example of what it looks like to go after it. So I honor you. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate everything you stand for. I appreciate the things that you've said to me. Those things ain't got to be talked about. What's understood don't have to be explained. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for always creating space for me, man. It is not overlooked.
Hey, much love, bro. I respect you
Yes, sir.
tremendously. Like you said, man, I respect you tremendously, bro.
Yes, sir.
We'll
Yes, sir.
leave it there, man. We'll leave
Yes,
it there.
sir.
But listen, I got a couple announcements real quick before we go. So this Saturday, we need the men to turn up and turn out. And so we have our man cave prayer breakfast. This is something that we do
Be
every
there.
single month, have been for the last couple of years. We got a special guest, Chris Dunlap. He is a master trader and investor. And so he's going to be teaching, man, how we can better provide and build a financial future for our families. You don't want to miss that. It's 100% free breakfast, free education. And so come and get the knowledge. Come and get the knowledge. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. It's
Be
going to be
there.
at the Oasis Church in Raytown, Missouri. All of the information and details are there on the flyer. You can also inbox the Elevating Men page or me directly. I'll get you the information. It's limited seating, and so we do need you to RSVP. We'll be on 1590 a.m. tomorrow at 12:30. I'm talking about the event, and so you can tune in there as well. Also, got my brother LaRon Barnes. We do a show every Sunday morning called Motivational Moments, and this brother is powerful. He's
He is
powerful.
powerful.
Absolutely, absolutely, and he's doing some big things. He's doing some big things, and so
Yeah, I
I'm
seen, man.
tuned
I
in.
hope he got to the finals, right?
So he's at the semifinals. He made it to the semifinals. He got his golden ticket. So 2 more rounds, and man, he might be on Grant Cardone stage for 10X. And so, matter of fact, not might be, he's going to be.
He's going to be,
He's
because he
going
didn't
to be.
already spoke it over his own life.
That's right. That's right.
Yes,
And
sir.
so, no, there's big things moving. Follow Elevating Men. If you want to catch up on any of our shows, any past content, you can go to our YouTube channel at Elevating Men or on Facebook, Elevating Men. Again, follow Dr. Ryan S. Harvey. I'm telling you, he'll bless your life. So we appreciate you all, and we'll see you again next time.
Yes, sir.